Hey, hey, it's Kel's Creation Station. Today I am in the process of transferring from an old list notebook to a new list notebook. And a list notebook, you ask? Yes, I have a list notebook. I've been doing this for a good while now, but I've always been a list taker when I was in school, when I was younger. Endless lists I have made in my life. And I started making like list notebooks where I can just refer to any list that you could possibly think of that you would need for life, whether it be like food, fitness, shopping, crafts, packing for vacations and things like that. So I just wanted it all in one place. So I've been making these list notebooks, so here's my old one. It has Lisa Frank on it. And I did this about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago. And I said, a lot has happened in a year. I must update. I need to do a new list notebook. And I wanted to make it look like kind of like nicer inside. This one, I feel like it's kind of crammed looking and it's all in black pen. I'm gonna do colorful gel pens and my new one. It's a little crammed. As I was reading through it, I said, oh, I need to add some stuff to that, or oh, I don't need that on my list anymore. It's not something I use now, or whatever. So the lists go on, and they go, and they go, and they go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna read through the titles of my lists for anybody who might be interested in what's in my list notebook. These are just lists that help me organize my life, help me to feel like I have any control at all over over my life. I think that's probably why I make lists, to feel like I have any control. Okay, so that was my old one. This is the new notebook I just made yesterday, and this is like a trend right now where people are taking like a beautiful picture, they're covering a composition notebook, and then they are putting gorgeous laminating holographic sheet on top. And I'm obsessed. I want to make like 50 more of these, but I don't need that many, but I want to make them. But so I did the front. Okay, that's a Dollar Tree wallpaper. It peeled off and stuck on there so good. It was so easy. And then I just did these lamination sheets that I got from Temu. And so gorgeous laminating, holographic look. And then I did the same on the inside cover. I call it Life Lists. And then I did the back cover, okay? So I started doing this, I'm like 10 pages in or so, and I was like, I need a break. It's a lot of writing. So I was like, I'm just gonna make a quick little video to maybe, help somebody who might wanna even start a list notebook. It really is, it feels good to have everything in one place. And if there's anything, that starts to be like new in your life or whatever, and you're like, I'm gonna add that to my list notebook. It's just a good place to have everything all together. So my first life list, it's food, okay? I titled it My Pantry Inventory. So these are all kinds of things that I would ideally always like to have in my pantry, pretty much, especially if you couldn't leave the house or whatever, if there was like another COVID situation, some kind of like emergency list, pantry emergency list, all of the things that I would like to have in my pantry to have any meal that I desire. So I broke it down by kind of like food groups. So I have like grains and starches. So that would be things like potatoes, rice, oatmeal, pasta, okay? Then I go down and I do like legumes and protein. So that would be like beans, tofu, shelf-stable tofu, because I have a page for perishable food. So, and protein bars. And then I do nuts and seeds. So I like to have flaxseed on hand, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, all that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna read you everything from the list because this video would be like 18 hours long. But there might be somebody who would benefit from hearing my entirety of my pantry list, this list specifically, because it's kind of like a very comprehensive grocery list for like a vegan, plant-based eater. So I may do that in a separate a separate clip sometime. But okay, next section would be canned and jarred items. So that's like pasta sauces, that would be like veggie stock, diced tomatoes, canned veggies, pickles, salsa, that kind of stuff. And then condiments. So I do like vinegars, oils. We have like steak sauce, soy sauce, dressings, maple syrup, taco sauce, etc. And my next section would be like baking and cooking essentials. So that's like flour, sugar, baking soda, spices, vanilla, okay? And then I have drinks, bottled water, tea, coffee, plant milk. Supplements I put in there as well. So those would just be things that my family currently takes. So I put like creatine on there, amla powder, vitamin D, B12, magnesium, and then snacks. Snacks is my last section there. It's a lot of stuff that my son likes, like graham crackers, cereal, things like that. Okay, so the next section goes on. So as you can see, so this is my new notebook. I started doing some lovely gel pen colors, which is way more fun, okay? It's just way more fun, and it looks more like neater and organized to me. Okay, fridge and freezer items. So that was like pantry, so that would be like shelf-stable food, and now it's like perishables. So I do like the frozen stuff that I like to have in my freezer on hand. So that would be things that I prep to have in my freezer, like smoothie bags, and my oat ball, my energy balls, and then things that I buy like waffles, frozen fruit. And then my fridge, I go to the next section, perishables. So that would be like tofu, silk milk, vegan butter, hummus, just all the foods that I like. You know, I'm gonna pause and say that what sparked me to even feel like this might be a relevant video to somebody was my husband was listening to Duncan Trussell. He is a comedian, if you don't know, and I just happened to like hear a blip of what he was listening to at the moment. It's a podcast, and Duncan was saying something like lists, long lists, itineraries, grocery lists, and his guest was like, yeah, I like grocery lists. But they were like making fun of like lists, and they were like, no one likes lists. And I was like, I actually happen to love lists, okay? All right, so anyway, okay, my next section, we're out of the pantry, we're out of that. But my next section is groceries by store, okay? So I just list the groceries that I like to get at each store. So I've found that it's either like a better deal there, or this is the only store that I can get the exact product that I like or something. So I have Costco, and I break down Costco by food and then household supplies. So I do get a lot of things from Costco. It is the best deal. I don't like going to Costco. I dread it, honestly, dread. Okay, Whole Foods is my next one. I do have a few foods that I can only find at Whole Foods, and I'm fortunate enough to live near a Whole Foods right now. Walmart, I actually get a lot of foods at Walmart. It seems like the best deal for a lot of things for like baking, cooking, condiments, things like that I don't want in like giant quantities. That would be like from Costco. And then Amazon. I go on and I do Amazon. There are things that I only find on Amazon too. So all of these places are relevant for my shopping, and it's just nice to have it all in a list and be able to refer to it, you know, because life is crazy. And if you don't write things down, you might go crazy. Oh, and then I do have a Dollar Tree list there. Really at the Dollar Tree, I just, whatever I like, I just look for, and whatever's cool and what happens to be out. But there are some things that I do consistently buy there, so I wrote that down. So that's kind of as far as I got today in my new notebook. So let's go to my old one and let's see the next list. Okay, household inventory. Okay, so that's just things like cleaning supplies for the kitchen, the bathroom, paper products, laundry products, and then emergency products. So that would be like batteries, light bulbs, medicines, you know, all that kind of jam. I have bottled water on that list. Okay. Let's see. Okay, cleaning schedule is my next list. So I broke it down by things that I do daily to keep up with the house, things that I do weekly or every like 3 to 4 days, and then things I do monthly and then yearly. So I broke that down. And you can find very cool lists online that are kind of already like done for you. And I think that's what I did with this, because I don't clean that much. I like to clean. I used to clean for a living. But I don't do all of that. But I wrote it all down because I saw a list online and I was like, that's good to write down just to, you know, just to have, just in case I want to refer and I want to see how much I can keep up on things. So something daily would be like make the bed, sort the laundry, dishes. Weekly thing would be like wipe down the outside of the fridge, the dishwasher, microwave, dust, rotate your fridge, leftovers. And then monthly would be like cleaning up the cobwebs up high, the fans, big Costco stock up I have on there, change AC filters, those kinds of things. Okay, now let's go on. Let's see, we did that one. Okay, this one I just called supplies. Okay, so I broke this down by kitchen appliances and useful items. So that would be like all of the, so I think why I made this list was because we were in the process of moving and I was like, I need to know all the things that are essential for me to either pack or make sure that I have when we arrive or whatever. So that would be like my appliances that I love. First on the list is my Instant Pot / air fryer combo machine, toaster, a blender, mini blender, coffee pots. I don't actually drink coffee, but I wrote it down for my husband. Okay. Mixing bowls, and I just go on and on about all the things that, you know, would be in, if I were to like, I think there's like a little fuzz on my lip. Is there a fuzz? Anyhow, if I were to kind of, because I always thought that I would be good at this, if I were to like pack for somebody or, you know, make them an inventory of the items that they need, it's still there. Sorry. So that's the kitchen appliances and supplies for the kitchen. And then I go on and I do bathroom supplies. And then I do guest room supplies. Car bag, which I have yet to do a car bag that I leave in the car. It's very hot here where I live. I wouldn't really want to leave very much in the car. But I do have like a tote that I bring in and out when I travel. But it doesn't have all of this stuff. This is like if you were going on a trip or if I was going far, I would want to have all of these things. And then emergency bag. So this would be like in the house, emergency bag if we had to leave quickly, if there was like a hurricane or something. I want to have a bag ready to go. Have I ever done that? Not quite to this extent, but if I knew a hurricane was coming, I can refer to this list and I can grab all these supplies and I know that we would be good, okay? Because there are hurricanes around here. Okay, my next list is fun. It is vacation packing essentials. So I did a if driving for your vacation list and if flying, okay? Because there are different things. And when I drive, I definitely pack more because I don't have to worry about the weight, you know? So that's all my packing essentials. And I just go through, you know, clothing, showering supplies, beach supplies, all that kind of stuff. Okay, next list is self-care. So I go through daily self-care that I like to do. So I wrote down like exercise, have a smoothie, prep your meals, do your hair or your nails or something, that kind of stuff, stretch, those sort of things. Then I have a list of my favorite vegan dishes. So I didn't write like the recipe per se. I just have the name of the food, of the dish. Because a lot of things I've made several times and I don't really need the recipe now. So I just wrote down all of my favorite type of things to make and eat. You know, if I'm ever like, I don't know what to eat, I don't know what to make, I can just be like, list notebook. Ooh la la, that sounds good. I'm really trying to sell this list notebook right now. Okay. Oh, my next list is vegan protein sources. So similar to the pantry list, but in this I wrote down the approximate amount of protein per serving for these items. Okay. Then let's see. Oh, then I wrote things to have prepped and available for like that I always want to have prepped in my fridge or in my freezer. So that's not too long of a list to always have prepped, but there are things that, you know, are always good to have. My next list, I just entitled it strength training because I never really did too much strength training before I was pregnant and had a kid. I mostly just swam and jumped around and all of that. But after I had a kid, I really got into doing like strength training and stuff. So it was actually really helpful for me to write down these sort of exercises for each body part. So I just wrote down some of my favorite exercises for like hams, quads, back, core, all of that. So I have a list for strength training. My next list here is entitled projects/goals. So I broke it down by like my miniatures, clay projects, holiday projects, and projects for Blake, my son. So, okay, oh, and now here's the goals, my goal list. I'm doing pretty good on my goals. See, I need to update, you know? I have new goals, goals that have been achieved, etc. Okay, next list is monthly expenses. So I broke that down by housing, which would be like mortgage, HOA fees, property taxes. Then we go on to do like utilities and bills. So that's like gas, electric, sewage, garbage, cell phone, all that. Transportation, so that would be like car insurance, all of that. And then travel, so like airplane ticket, entertainment, parking, car rentals, and then household supplies, so groceries, paper products, Amazon. I just have Amazon as a separate category. And then extra would be like day trips, arts and crafts, Christmas, gardening, that kind of thing. So, okay, next list. I'm still going. If you're still here with me, you are a saint and an angel from heaven. Okay, activities by month, a year of fun, I called it. And I just went through each month and different activities that you can do. So this was actually really helpful because now that I have a child, you're kind of like, oh, what cool things should we do this month or this season or something or other. So January would be like make resolutions, go to New Year's parties, February, Valentine's Day. So I just go through. I'm not going to go through all the months. Zoo, I have like a list here underneath of other activities that we can do many different times of the year. Since we live in Florida, that would be like the zoo, trampoline park. I guess you could do that anytime. Disney, water parks, playground, take a class, dance class, karate class, things like that. Okay, next is, I'll show you how I wrote it. I wrote it like this. It's called Sample Meal Plan. So I started, when I first went vegan, I started creating meal plans in this fashion so that I would just kind of learn how to feed myself and how to, you know, plan my week and stuff. So I just go through breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 7 days, and I just wrote down some sample stuff. I might not do that in my new one. I don't think I need to. But we'll see. My next list is craft supplies, which I broke down by categories as well. I did adhesive, so that's like Mod Podge, super glue, hot glue, wood glue. I love adhesives. Clay is my next category, and clay supplies. Wood is my next category, so like different wood products that I might need, or that I use for miniatures, like matchsticks, dowel rods, popsicle sticks, cardboard scraps. I put that in there. And then cutting is my next category, so that would be like scissors, miter shears, box cutter, hole puncher. There's more things in that category. And then the next one would be like painting, coloring, writing. So acrylic paint, oil paint, paintbrushes, pens, markers, highlighters, that kind of stuff. Oh, and then there's just another list called other art supplies, where I just go on and on about all the things that didn't fit in those categories, like rubber bands, fake flowers, old picture frames, marbles. Yeah, anything that I think of, it goes in the list. It goes in the list. Moss is a big craft supply that I use all the time. Okay, next list is gym equipment. So I've always wanted to have my own gym. It has really always been like a life goal of mine. But I also just like to do workouts at home sometimes and have equipment as well. But I just wrote down all of the equipment in here that I like to use when I go to the gym or when I use at home. And then let's see, gym bag and swim bag. So I currently do not go to a faraway gym. We have like a little gym here, and I'll either go to that or I'll work out at home or I'll swim in our pool and whatever. So, but I used to always have to pack my swim bag and my gym bag every night for the next morning. And there's a lot of things you need. And I would always pack like a, what's it called? A dry land outfit, just in case the pool was closed, which has happened a lot of times. And so then I would have my sneakers as well. So I just have everything that I would need, and then everything that I would need to take a shower and get ready for the day after the gym as well. Oh, the next category is cruise supplies. People cruising. All right. So I don't really have any separate categories in that necessarily. I just did for Blake and then for me. Cruise continued. Okay, and then I have under here carry-on bag. So that would be for like flying, what I would need in a carry-on that I would need for like me and my son. Okay, ooh, the next category is not really a category. I just have different recipes that I really like. And I actually have the recipes written out. And, oh, and then this one I have a couple cookbooks, the title of the cookbook, and then I have the page number for certain recipes that I liked from that cookbook. So that's helpful. And then, oh, the rest is just like 4 or 5 different trips that we've taken, and I just redid the packing list. So I hope this was helpful to anybody. Lists really can help you feel like you have control on your life, that you are making progress. It's just, you know, it helps me go to sleep at night knowing that everything's written down, that I didn't forget something or whatever. So, all right. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I think my next video is going to be a miniatures. Okay. I've worked on something really cool and it's just about ready. Okay. Bye.